Listen to me. They all knew before now. This just for the cameras. But they all knew before now. You haven't heard nobody come out and condemn him, really. They been knowing for now, homie. Everybody know he made her shave her hair off. He made her get some fake breasts, take them out, and everybody know this. Why they acting like they didn't know? Come on, LeBron. LeBron them knew that.
LeBron?
Man, Meeky knew that. Meeky was part of the allegations, the girl say. Stevie J come out defending him. Meek defending him. Ain't nobody came out and condemned him, and they done been to his parties. Wasn't nobody concerned about Usher. Usher ain't got near about the compassion that Cassie got. And Usher was a kid. Where Usher supported everybody. Why everybody just focus on Cassie? And he say him and Usher was in the bed together. Usher even came out and said, man, I wasn't supposed to be seeing that type of stuff. I was just a kid. Why ain't nobody speaking up for Usher? Because they picking and choosing, my nigga. And I just want to remind everybody, Cassie ain't no black girl. She a mixed breed mulatto Italian chick. He get to mistreat her if he want to. She ain't black.
Okay,
no,
but look.
I just said that to make some people mad. That's all. Yes, I don't really mean that.
Dang, Diddy. Yeah, it's looking grim for your boy. They denied him bail. And we have celebrities Hollywood reacting to the news of him actually being in jail. So we're going to start this off with John Legend. He was on Diddy's last album, and I'm not a body language expert, but I've got to say he looked severely nervous when he went on TV to denounce Diddy's horrifying actions.
Sean Diddy Coombs, you were on his last album. Are you also feeling that the idea of the abuse of women, domestic partner abuse, it needs to be really handled once and for all and not swept under the carpet as it has been for so long? Let's just say in your industry.
Oh, well, I was horrified by the allegations that I heard about Mr. Combs, and of course horrified by the video evidence that was released after that. But I was horrified by the descriptions that I read before the video evidence came out, and absolutely is something that needs to be brought to light when it happens. And my default stance is to believe women when they make these accusations, and to make sure that we do whatever we can to support women who are making these allegations, and make sure that they're heard, and that any kind of accountability and reparations can be made to make these women whole again. It's shameful what Mr. Combs has been accused of, and I only want the best for Cassie, but also for all the other victims that have alleged that he's abused them. It's really tough to see those descriptions and to see those videos. It's quite a shame, and I really just want accountability and hopefully some healing for all of his victims.
Public place, you did it. Is this the best or the worst? What do you do?
The best.
Okay, the best. Probably the Obama thing.
What? John, what's the? Oh God. What,
Oh God.
John.
What?
What is your wife talking about?
I don't know.
We heard
We're not-
Obama in there.
Chrissy, get back in. What happened?
We're not going to discuss
We're
that.
not going to discuss it?
We're not. We're
Wow.
not.
Okay.
Oh my God. Secret Service. Come here, jump back in.
Hi.
Look at John. Look at, I don't.
Hi.
We're not talking about it. That's the truth.
That is an awesome answer.
Not the White House.
Not the-
It was not.
It
the
was
White
not
House,
at the
though.
White
It
House.
was
That is
100%
correct.
not at the White House. I promise.
He was
you.
not elected yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we're moving
I'm sorry.
on.
I'm in trouble now.
No, you're good.
Now, before we get into any more celebrities reacting to this, we got 50 Cent. We even have, I believe, one of his artists from Making a Band. If the audio in that one, if I can find the clip of that without the copyrighted music. But yeah, we got some celebrities reacting to Diddy's news. But before we continue, we gotta check in with my guy Ian Carroll. He always does the best deep dive research into these things, and he found out one of Diddy's sex slaves exposed Diddy and the whole hip hop agenda all the way back in 2018. 2018. We're talking Black Boule, the Clintons, Obama, Trump, drug smuggling, the Illuminati, and Mo.
The following is a mandatory tinfoil hat zone. I've been going back to the guy that shot up the Trump Hotel back in 2018 and listening to the interview he gave in the hospital before he was put in jail. And we're about to go Diddy, the rap industry, drug smuggling, but also Trump, Obama, Hillary, human trafficking, the Black Boule, everything. This shit is so wild, and it's gonna take multiple videos to parse out. We're talking about this guy, Jonathan Odie. And way back in 2018, before the Cassie lawsuit, before the Lil Rod lawsuit, before they raided Diddy's home, before they arrested Diddy, he claimed that he was a Diddy sex slave and that he had sex with Cassie and Diddy multiple times. He claims he contracted herpes, he sued them, he won. He claims they're gonna try to kill Trump and he's trying to warn Trump. He claims a lot of things. And some of them are just out there, but some of them have been directly corroborated by things we've learned since. And in this first video, we're gonna dig into what he calls the hip hop agenda. But first, if you're not familiar with what happened and what this dude did to get arrested, let's watch a tape. So this is security camera footage from Trump National Hotel, Doral, Miami, Florida. And this is from back in 2018. And it's sped up, and there's a couple places where the stamp time lapses, and I won't show you the whole thing. But basically, this guy, Jonathan Odie, walks in with a gun. Somewhere he's got, it just time lapsed. He's got a giant American flag. He drapes it all across the counter. He's pulls down the chandelier, he said. He shoots some rounds at the ceiling, and then he basically just stands there and waits for police to come. He smashes some shit for apparently no reason, like just committing crimes for the sake of committing crimes, apparently. And then he just stands around with a gun, and now the cops are outside, and he's like kind of giving up and surrendering, but maybe they're not realizing it, or not sure what happens exactly. But at a certain point, he decides it's time to book it, and he runs. He gets shot 3 times in the leg during this exchange, slips, keeps running, runs up the stairs, and then in this upper room, he eventually is just like, yeah, fuck it. And he gives up, puts the gun down, moves some furniture, lies down on the ground, and surrenders. And he's got bullet wounds in his leg. And then he gets interviewed by Secret Service in the infirmary before he gets sent off to prison or jail or wherever. And he says some wild shit. The total interview is 33 minutes long, and I spent like 3 hours last night transcribing it all and trying to figure out his voice because he's got a super weird voice. And I've been digging through corroborating all the crazy things he says in this interview. But one of the most interesting things is about the hip hop agenda. Before we get to that, let's do the Diddy stuff, because he made all these claims before anyone officially knew anything about Diddy. Check this out.
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself.
Yeah. I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with people and stuff, and I was like a sex slave, okay? For them, that's what I was. That's all right? I caught herpes, and I came back and I sued for the herpes and won. But they did. Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys, okay? And Christopher Leon's here was my attorney. They asked me to turn in that, which was the video recording, and I did so.
Looking into the lawyers he just named, there's all kinds of dirt down that rabbit hole, but that's for another video. But when you watch the interview, you can tell that the investigators are like, this guy's fucking schizophrenic.
Literally.
What is he talking about? And he like keeps on trying to like redirect.
Yeah, I got to see that interview and for myself. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. I was personally afraid to post the whole thing here, but yeah, he detailed a lot, like a lot. And at the time, because Diddy is who he was, let's say that, he was seen as somebody who's delusional, who's schizo, and this is what Hollywood does. They make everybody who tries to out them as, just delulu, but it's not the case.
And he like keeps on trying to like redirect him without making him feel defensive, as though they don't believe him. But now we know that what he said about Diddy was 100% on point. Like in a way that you could only know if you actually were a Diddy sex slave. Because if you don't know, Diddy liked to pay sex workers to have sex with his girlfriend, and he would watch and film and direct and jerk off, as well as a whole bunch of other super dark shit. Now, let's get into the juicy part right here. The hip hop agenda.
Basically, what happens is the hip hop agenda is an agenda to move drugs all over the United States. You need to invoke the DEA. They move all the dope. Okay, all the dope on private jets, which don't get screened by
customs,
by the
okay.
inside the United States. Okay, they move what's called high grade powder MDMA. They move cocaine and they move liquid cocaine in their bottles too. Okay, so they put the liquid cocaine in the bottles and they move it. I've seen the liquid cocaine. I've drank it myself. Having sex with Diddy and Cassie. Okay, it's not good. He drinks it all the time. Alright, he calls it GG, but it's liquid cocaine. Alright. How do I know there's a conspiracy against Trump? Because it's in the Illuminati card deck. He should read it.
Okay, we're about to go into the Illuminati card deck and all sorts of other things. That's for another.
Hold on. But what is the Illuminati card deck? What? Hold on, let me Google this.
We're going to have a disclaimer about the amount of tinfoil required for this in just a second. But first, Sigma Pi Phi, or the Black Boule, is the oldest black fraternity in the United States. And this is its symbol. And it's a real thing. And it used to be kind of a secret society, and now it's like a public fraternity all across the US. And that symbol looks an awful lot like LeBron's chest tattoo. For starters, Black Boule deserves a whole other video, as does LeBron James. But y'all remember Juice WRLD, who died suddenly of a heart attack during a police raid?
His plane had drugs.
41 vacuum sealed bags of marijuana. Died of a heart attack during the raid. Kind of weird. He was 21 years old at the time. And there are many instances of people getting caught smuggling drugs on private planes. All of these guys apparently did not have the protection of the rap industry or the Black Boule or whoever. I'm serious, tons of different instances. But it gets even more interesting when you look at what rappers own private jets. We'll skip to number 2, Diddy, whose plane is renowned for its intercontinental range. But number 1 is Jay-Z, and it was a gift from Bay, meaning probably a tax write-off because they're pretty smart business people. Then you got Drake, who, aside from a Russian oligarch, Saudi Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, at least formerly before they confiscated it, whole other Vegas shooting rabbit hole, Drake's plane is one of the 5 largest private jets in the world at the time in 2023. Lil Wayne, Rick Ross, who is mentioned in this interview directly, 50 Cent, and Travis Scott. There's probably more. That's just who was in that one article. And speaking of liquid cocaine, Ciroc Vodka and De Leon Tequila are mentioned multiple times in the original lawsuit, and they had partnerships directly with Diddy. But it's hard to tell what of this guy's testimony is him knowing things from firsthand knowledge versus him self-admittedly just doing a whole bunch of internet research and piecing things together and deciding to save the world by warning Donald Trump about a plot to kill him by his cousins, all the other presidents, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. And if you're a real conspiracy nut, you might be like, yeah, dude. And if you're not, you might be like, yeah, this guy's fucking crazy. And you might fall somewhere in the middle, and that's okay. But it's pretty fun to think about. So yeah, more coming soon.
They tried to make everybody seem crazy that was coming after Diddy. That guy, you had Gene Deal, which is a former bodyguard whom has been been speaking out against Diddy for a while and a lot of corrupt things that was going on behind the scenes. He also made mention that at the height of the Tupac and Biggie beef, Biggie being one of Diddy's artists, Diddy, out of frustration, made the claim like one of them have to go. I don't care which one. You know what I mean? So that let me, at that point, that kind of like put me in the mindset of Diddy, like, oh, wow, this type of person he is. Then you got like, I don't want to mess up her name, but it's like Jaguar Wright. She's been speaking out against Diddy for a while. Admittedly, though, there's been some claims that she's made that I've kind of like turned the eyebrow up to, but you know, it's fair to go back and look at these things now that we see what's transpiring with Diddy. But I don't even want to show this Dr. Umar one. We're going to go to somebody else first. What I want to show y'all first? We got Faison Love saying, when has being nasty been a federal crime? Wow. This is above nasty to me, like on so many different levels. But
I need y'all to help me. We all heard about Puffy, and I see a lot of people, yay. I'm confused. The Cassie thing, I understand. I think you should definitely lock this nigga up. Put hands on the young lady. But I don't understand the other shit. Can y'all help me? When has being nasty been a federal crime? And I'm glad they told me. I didn't know there was a limit on baby oil. I'm getting a few, because we get ashy. But you get a massage or something or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Please tell us the new rules for niggas. Because maybe they're not new rules, actually, because I think it was 1800s. There was this very famous boxer named Jack Johnson, and he was whooping ass. Everybody ass, but mostly white folks' ass. He was whooping a lot of white folks' ass. And he had a white woman, Mae West. They couldn't stop this black man. So they gave him trafficking. In the 1800s, taking a white woman across the lines was... If he didn't do that, he wouldn't have stopped boxing. I thought I told you that we won't. Make it make sense. We need to know the new rules. You can't take anybody on vacation. Can't take anybody to Vegas. Damn sure don't bring them to Atlanta. I need y'all to help me because I don't know the new rules. Please tell me what was illegal.
I'm just going to read the comments, okay? I'm just going to read the comments. Boosie and Faison will end up regretting why they gave their 2 cents when the trial begins. Like Boosie, he didn't read any of the paperwork that stated his alleged crimes. It was more than being nasty. All those defending him look like absolute weirdos. This nigga doesn't read, you can tell. Being nasty ain't a crime. If you not drugging people, keep folks against their will, forcing people to engage in sexual acts, being violent if they say no or hesitate, yeah, you fat F, that's a federal crime. The F is wrong with this ninja. I know I said the first time, but yeah. How does someone manage to consistently end up on the wrong side of history every single time? Yeah, so you see the comment section ain't, vibing with him.
How you feel about the situation that Diddy in?
Let's say this. Something else is going on. They didn't raid, they searched with a warrant his premises on the West Coast, right? They searched his premises on the East Coast in Florida, right? On the same property that the premises was located that they searched in Florida, he had a second mansion. They didn't touch that one. Why not? And when they walk out of there, they got a small trash bag and they have a medium-sized cardboard box. What was it they seized that would fit into those items? I have a sneaking suspicion from my background in criminal defense that what they seized was some evidence that was very incriminating to other people. Now, after they seized the evidence, they had no probable cause to arrest him on any crime. He hasn't been indicted. They talked to him at an airport before he got on a private jet to fly to an island that has no extradition agreement with the United States. Have you heard anybody trying to prosecute him?
Not at all.
So what did they do? See, the feds are interesting. Who served the search warrant?
Homeland Security.
Now, what the hell do they have to do with that? That's a FBI mandate.
When I was a 18-year-old kid, just wanting to do nothing other than make my mother proud and make Belize proud and do what all of us want to do, be recognized for our talent and take over the world. I was defending him, and he turned around and called witnesses to testify against me, and he contributed. He pretty much sent me to prison. So that is the context by which you must always describe that relationship. Yes, I forgave, I moved on, but let us not pretend as if I was in Miami for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Well, I saw
and
you
that
spent a birthday with him once.
I
saw a birthday cake.
I went again to do a charity event for impoverished youth in London. So let us not lose sight of what the cold hard facts are. This was not someone who I vacationed with and who he and I enjoyed this great intimate relationship of brotherhood. This is someone who destroyed my life and who I forgave and who I moved on, and for the better interest of Belize, because he was in a position at that time to give scholarships and to maybe invest. I would not deny attempting to bring the investment to Belize and to bring the contributions to education to Belize, but don't distort it as if, he and I were bombale. This is someone that destroyed my life, but do I take any joy or any satisfaction with what he is going through? Absolutely not. I am different than maybe other people. No one needs to fail for me to succeed. No one needs to suffer for me.
At the height of your professional relationship, or thereafter through the reconciliation, when he was an instrumental part of promoting you through Revolt Media, were you aware of these freak-off events, and were you aware of them? Did you have any participation in them?
Oh my goodness, Jules Vasquez. Jules Vasquez.
Were you aware of that?
Jules Vasquez.
Were you aware of the freak-offs?
Sir, I had nothing to do with Sean Combs' personal life, no interaction. That level, everything was strictly on a professional level.
You have the experience with major corporations like me, my particular experience with Beam Centauri. It was great in the beginning. It's great for us to work for them. It is not so cool when you start to own things. You see what I'm saying? So I made a lot of money with them too. Like there's a point, they did a deal that mirrored what Puffy's deal with Diageo was for Ciroc. So he didn't have ownership of that at any point, but he was getting a lot of money, like almost like $60 million a year at one point. So you see him go to Daily On is when you see him have some issues. And these people have really strong relationships. Don't think that the civil case doesn't turn into a criminal case faster because he's making them uncomfortable. That's a big part of it. The spirits business it's not governed. They got a discus board that they created, right? If you got two companies that are $3 billion a year, and Beam Centauri and Diageo, the distribution level, it's very hard for you to get things to a point where you can do the right numbers. They incentivize the sales force by giving them box bonuses. And then when you sell a product, you get the bonuses off the boxes that's there. But you make that no matter what product you're selling. So if you sell Hennessy or Remy out the gate, they start to put downward pressure on the new companies.
And not only that, y'all, Diddy was placed on suicide watch. This comes just as Diddy's bail was denied the second time. Coincidentally, Jeffrey Epstein, who was in the custody of the same jailers who currently hold Diddy, quote, committed suicide just days after being placed on suicide watch. I find it harder and harder to believe Diddy will make it to the trial with each passing day, as Nick Shorter wrote. Now, as somebody wrote here, I don't want to see none of the Diddy tapes. I'm not interested whatsoever, but we need them Diddy tapes just like we need the J6 tapes to be released. And thank God that a whole lot of the internet has been doing what they're supposed to do and releasing with the truth behind J6. But as it pertains to Diddy, expose them all.